as I said yesterday, it's very dangerous to put your own code in front of people and ask them to read it, and you'll see why at the end. But I asked you to take a look at a short bit of code that I presented in the last series of talks, and to have you try to figure out why things were written the way they were written. And there's code that's in classes, and there's code that is intentionally not in classes. So let's see. So what do the two classes do? Okay. Plot Notebook creates a frame and a panel. That's this method, this class right here, and it defines a bunch of methods. So this is it sort of summarized. We have a class. It's based on WXPanel. It creates the frame that the panel is going to go in, and then it defines one function or method is to add a plot tab to that panel. Another one is to say reuse it if it exists. So it goes. So if you give it a name for a tab and it finds it, it reuses that one. Otherwise, it creates it. And then finally, let's say you have a plot tab and you want it to be on top. This raise plot tab will stick it on top. So that's the first thing. Is the first class is to handle creating windows and tab plots, and then there is a second class, plot, which actually has no functions in it, no methods in it other than the init, and that defines a panel with a tabbed plot. So this add plot tab and the reuse plot tab will create these plot objects. So why are these classes? Well, the obvious reason is that within a window, you want to have as many plots as you want, and each one gets a tab. So each one of these things, these plots, is an object, and then you can have as many as you want. And also, there is no reason you want to restrict yourself to only having one window. If you want to run this thing with multiple plots and multiple windows, you can create as many of these plot notebook windows as you want. So again, it makes sense for those to be objects. So that's what I say here. Okay. The second part is what code is not in classes. Turns out there are only really 3 pieces of code, other than the test stuff at the end, that's not in that's not in classes. And actually, I didn't put one routine here, but it's all. Other than that, all the code is right there. First thing is that there are a couple lines of executable code that always get done, and it calls this WXPy simple app, which will create a Python application for us. We'll talk more about that later, but you did see that last time. And it initializes a variable. Okay? How often will that get done? It will get done exactly once. The first time that you import the module, this code will get run. Any subsequent time that you import the module somewhere else, the code will not be rerun because Python will recognize, hey, this has already been loaded. There's no reason to load it again. Other 2 things are to define 2 routines. Make plot window and show plots. And what do these things do? Well, make plot window is called to make a new frame, a new window, whichever one you want to call that, same thing. And every time you call it, it creates a new window for you. And it returns back the name of an object, returns back the object which contains the panel and the frame, and the methods that allow you to create plots in that frame. And then finally, show plots is the last thing you do. Okay? This is going to bring up all the frames that you've created, and it's going to start the event loop. Well, again, we'll talk more about this stuff, but so why did I not put the stuff in a class? Well, I mean, you could put it in a class, but it's very convenient not to, because when you do it this way, it automatically gets initialized, so the person who's using this package doesn't need to know that they need to do this. Okay, and they could access and they can access this routine here anywhere they want to. You can have and likewise you can access this somewhere else. So you can have, everywhere you have an import to this module, you can access the make plot window. You don't need to worry about creating an object and then getting that object to where you need to call it. Likewise, you don't have to worry about getting the object to where it is you're done. You're done with all the code creation, and you're ready to start the GUI creation, and you're ready to start the event loop, which is, in a sense, the last thing you do in your code. So, so from my perspective, the advantages are that the initialization gets done automatically for me. I don't need to worry about it, and that I can access this stuff wherever I need it without having to worry about namespace stuff. So, so that's sort of the answer to the two homework questions. Next week, we're going to hear from John, and he's going to show you how to even improve this class even further by doing a better job with inheritance.